This is how Kim Jong-un secretly lives. Behind the smiling yet deceitful facade of Kim Jong-un, the fearsome dictator of North Korea, lies a life filled with horrors unlike any other leader in the world. It's astonishing that while North Korean citizens starve, he indulges in excessive eating habits, feasting on sushi, shark fin soup, Kobe beef, the finest cheeses, and expensive wines every night. But not only that, President Kim Jong-un also hosts extravagant parties, spending thousands on entertainment and summoning dozens of naked women to serve him. His collection of cars and yachts is lavish enough to make anyone envious. But before we expose how the richest president of the world secretly lives, you have to understand his past. Kim Jong-un's journey to supreme power began long before he took control of North Korea. Born into the ruling Kim dynasty, his path to leadership was set from childhood. But you might be surprised to learn that young Kim wasn't always the intimidating figure we know today. Kim's aunt, Ko Young-suk, who helped raise him, revealed a side of the future dictator that few have seen. She described a boy prone to temper tantrums, someone who would roll around on the floor screaming if he didn't get his way. It's hard to imagine the stern-faced leader we see today throwing a fit over not getting the latest toy, isn't it? But even as a child, Kim was being groomed for power. His days were filled with special tutoring and military training, all designed to prepare him for his future role. While other kids were playing with friends, Kim was learning about complex political ideologies and the art of warfare. The contrast between Kim's privileged upbringing and the harsh realities faced by ordinary North Koreans couldn't be starker. While he enjoyed imported chocolates and the latest gadgets, many of his future subjects were struggling to find their next meal. As Kim grew older, his education took him abroad. He spent time in Switzerland, where he developed a taste for Western luxuries that would shape his future lifestyle. Imagine a teenage Kim strolling through the streets of Bern, surrounded by freedoms and comforts that were unimaginable to most North Koreans. But how did this spoiled child transform into the iron-fisted ruler we know today? The answer lies in the brutal world of North Korean politics. When Kim Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, suffered a stroke in 2008, the race to find a successor began in earnest. Despite being the youngest son, Kim Jong-un was chosen, likely due to his strong resemblance to his grandfather, Kim Il-sung, the revered founder of North Korea. In the span of just a few years, Kim went from being a relatively unknown figure to the undisputed leader of one of the world's most secretive and repressive regimes. The transformation was as swift as it was shocking. Today, Kim Jong-un wields absolute power over North Korea. The child who once threw tantrums now has the ability to launch nuclear weapons. It's a chilling reminder of how unchecked power can amplify even the smallest personality quirks into nation-shaping forces. But what does a day in the life of this supreme leader look like? How does someone with such immense power start their morning? You might think it involves early strategy meetings or urgent briefings on world events, but the reality is far more luxurious and shocking than you might imagine. Kim's daily routine is a carefully guarded secret, but we've managed to uncover some surprising details. From the moment he wakes up, every aspect of his day is designed to reinforce his status as the unquestioned ruler of North Korea. Picture this: while millions of North Koreans wake to the sound of propaganda broadcasts, Kim is gently roused by a special song played just for him. It's a stark reminder of the vast gulf between the leader and his people. But that's just the beginning. What comes next in Kim's morning routine will shock you even more. It involves imported delicacies, personal chefs, and breakfast costs that could feed an entire North Korean village for months. While millions of North Koreans rub the sleep from their eyes and prepare for another day of hardship, Kim is just starting to stir in his lavish Ryeong-song residence. This isn't your average home. It's a sprawling compound complete with a 1,000-seat cinema and an enormous swimming pool. It's like a small city, designed for the comfort of one man. As Kim finally decides to grace the world with his presence, his day begins in earnest. And let me tell you, his breakfast spread would make even the most decadent five-star hotel buffet look like a quick snack. Picture this. While many North Koreans are grateful for a simple bowl of rice, Kim sits down to a feast fit for a king, or in this case, a supreme leader. His table is laden with dishes that most of his subjects have never even heard of, let alone tasted. There's Kobe beef, prized for its intense marbling and melt-in-your-mouth texture. Each bite of this Japanese delicacy costs more than what an average North Korean earns in a month. Alongside it, you'll find Italian Parma ham, cured to perfection and sliced paper-thin. This isn't your run-of-the-mill bacon. We're talking about ham that costs up to $500 per pound. But the extravagance doesn't stop there. Kim's breakfast wouldn't be complete without some premium sausages, likely imported from Europe at great expense. And let's not forget the star of the show, a cut of Wagyu beef that could easily set you back $200 to $500 per pound. Now, you might be thinking, surely he can't eat like this every day. Well, think again. According to reports, this is just a typical morning for North Korea's supreme leader. And we haven't even gotten to his drink of choice yet. While many of us reach for a simple cup of Joe to start our day, Kim sips on Brazilian coffee that costs a staggering $500 per pound. In fact, North Korea reportedly spent millions on this luxury item in 2016, just to keep Kim's cup filled with the finest brew money can buy. The contrast between Kim's breakfast and that of an ordinary North Korean couldn't be starker. While he's savoring imported delicacies, many of his people are grateful for a simple meal of rice and fried beans, if they're lucky enough to have even that. But Kim's culinary indulgences don't stop at breakfast. Throughout the day, he enjoys a parade of gourmet dishes that would make even the most seasoned food critics head spin. We're talking about sushi prepared by master chefs, shark fin soup that's as controversial as it is expensive, and imported delicacies like Iranian caviar and Danish pork. Now, you might be wondering, how much does all this cost? Brace yourself, because the numbers are truly shocking. While exact figures are hard to come by, Kim isn't exactly posting his grocery bills on Instagram. Experts estimate that the annual cost of Kim's gourmet food habits runs into millions of dollars. Let that sink in for a moment. Millions of dollars spent on food for one man in a country where malnutrition is rampant and many struggle to put even the most basic meals on the table. But here's the kicker. Kim's love for food goes beyond just eating it. According to his former personal chef, Kenji Fujimoto, Kim's entire daily routine revolves around these extravagant meals and snacks. It's not just sustenance for him, it's a way of life, a symbol of his power and wealth. Kim Jong-un's lavish lifestyle extends far beyond his gourmet meals. While millions of North Koreans struggle to survive in cramped apartments, their supreme leader enjoys a network of opulent palaces that would make even the most extravagant billionaires green with envy. Let's take a closer look at the Ryongseong residence, Kim's primary home. This isn't just a house, it's a fortress of luxury. Spanning over 4 square miles, this compound is a city unto itself. But don't expect to get a guided tour anytime soon. The entire area is surrounded by an elaborate security system that would put Fort Knox to shame. Picture this, electric fences crackling with lethal voltage, stretching as far as the eye can see, minefields scattered across the perimeter, ready to unleash devastation on any unwelcome visitors. And if that's not enough, there are strict military checkpoints at every possible entry point. It's clear that Kim takes his privacy very seriously. But why all the security? What secrets lie behind those heavily guarded walls? The answer might shock you. Inside the Ryongseong residence, Kim indulges in luxuries that most North Koreans can't even imagine. There's a massive swimming pool, perfect for those sweltering Pyongyang summers. And when Kim wants to catch the latest Hollywood blockbuster, which ironically is banned for ordinary citizens, he retreats to his private cinema with 1,000 plush seats. It's almost like he's mocking his own propaganda machine. Speaking of entertainment, let's talk about Kim's infamous Pleasure Squad. These aren't just any party guests. They're a group of young women, handpicked for their beauty and loyalty to the regime. In 2016, Kim reportedly spent a staggering $3.8 million on luxury items for these women. But here's the kicker. Before joining this elite group, each woman must undergo strict medical examinations to ensure they're virgins. It's a stark reminder of the dark underbelly of Kim's regime. While he throws lavish parties with his pleasure squad, millions of North Koreans live under constant surveillance and threat of punishment for the slightest perceived disloyalty. But let's get back to that private cinema. It's not just for watching the latest Marvel movie, though Kim is reportedly a big fan. This 1,000-seat theater also serves as a propaganda machine. Here, Kim showcases his supposed achievements to guests, celebrating military successes or technological advancements. It's all part of the carefully crafted image he presents to the world. The hypocrisy is mind-boggling. While ordinary North Koreans face severe punishment for watching foreign media, their supreme leader binges on Hollywood and South Korean films in the comfort of his private theater. It's a perfect example of the do as I say, not as I do mentality that permeates Kim's rule. And the parties? They're as extravagant as you'd imagine. Picture this: 50 to 60 guests, all carefully vetted and loyal to the regime, gathered in one of Kim's luxurious residences. The alcohol flows freely, very freely. In fact, Kim reportedly spends an estimated $30 million each year on alcohol for these elite gatherings. That's more than many countries spend on their entire healthcare systems. Now, you might be wondering, how much does all this entertainment cost? Brace yourself, because the numbers are truly shocking. While exact figures are hard to come by, Kim isn't exactly publishing his party receipts. Experts estimate that the annual cost of Kim's entertainment expenses runs into hundreds of millions of dollars. Let that sink in for a moment. Hundreds of millions of dollars spent on parties, movies, and luxury items for Kim and his inner circle. Meanwhile, the average North Korean struggles to afford basic necessities like food and clean water. The contrast is stark and disturbing. While Kim lounges in his private cinema, watching the latest blockbusters, millions of his people have never even seen a television. While he throws lavish parties with imported champagne, countless North Korean children go to bed hungry each night. Kim Jong-un's lavish lifestyle comes at a steep price, not just for his people, but for the dictator himself. His excessive indulgences have taken a serious toll on his health. While he enjoys the finest foods and drinks money can buy, his body is struggling to keep up with his extravagant appetites. Reports suggest Kim suffers from obesity and related health issues like gout. It's no surprise given his penchant for rich foods and heavy drinking. Imagine gorging on Kobe beef and $500 steaks every day, washing it all down with top-shelf liquor. Sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? But Kim's obsession with luxury food goes beyond just eating. He's particularly fixated on cheese. This isn't your average cheese craving. We're talking about a man who sent his personal chefs to France for a 7-month cheese-making course. Can you believe it? While his people struggle to find basic sustenance, Kim's busy perfecting the art of fromage. The irony is hard to miss. The leader of a country where malnutrition is rampant is literally eating himself sick. But Kim's health issues don't stop at his waistline. His excessive lifestyle has led to concerns about more serious conditions, including heart problems and diabetes. You might think these health scares would prompt Kim to dial back his indulgences, but old habits die hard, especially when you're the supreme leader of a totalitarian regime. Instead of cutting back, Kim has doubled down on his security measures, seemingly more concerned with external threats than the damage he's doing to his own body. Kim's paranoia has reached epic proportions. His security detail isn't just extensive, it's almost comical in its excess. Picture this: a team of bodyguards, all shorter than Kim, because heaven forbid anyone looks down on the supreme leader, trained not just in weapons, but in martial arts. It's like something out of a Bond villain's playbook. But the security measures don't stop there. Kim travels on 3 identical airplanes to minimize the risk of assassination. That's right, 3 planes just for one man, and he frequently changes his flight plans, keeping everyone guessing about his whereabouts. It's a level of paranoia that would make even the most conspiracy-minded person raise an eyebrow. Why all this fear and paranoia? Well, when you're a dictator with a long list of human rights violations, you tend to make a few enemies. But Kim's fear isn't just about foreign threats. He's equally, if not more, worried about threats from within his own regime. This brings us to one of the most shocking examples of Kim's ruthlessness: the assassination of his half-brother Kim Jong-un. In 2017, Kim Jong-un was killed with VX nerve agent in a public airport. The attack was swift, brutal, and sent a clear message: no one is safe from Kim's wrath, not even his own family. The assassination of Kim Jong-un isn't just a family drama gone wrong. It's a chilling reminder of the lengths Kim will go to eliminate perceived threats. It's also a stark illustration of the paradox at the heart of Kim's rule. He lives in constant fear, surrounded by luxury but unable to truly enjoy it, always looking over his shoulder for the next threat. Despite all his health issues and paranoia, Kim seems determined to maintain his opulent lifestyle. He's reportedly under the care of a team of Russian doctors who regularly assess his condition and administer treatments. Their goal: to keep Kim alive and in power for as long as possible, regardless of the cost to his health or the North Korean people. Kim Jong-un's public image is a carefully crafted illusion. While North Korean state media portrays him as a benevolent leader, the reality couldn't be further from the truth. Behind closed doors, Kim indulges in a lifestyle of unimaginable luxury, completely at odds with the hardships faced by his people. Every public appearance is meticulously staged. Kim is often seen touring factories, farms, or military installations, always surrounded by adoring crowds. But these visits are nothing more than elaborate theater. The locations are scrubbed clean, workers are handpicked for their loyalty, and even the tiniest details are managed to present a perfect picture of prosperity and progress. But the real Kim Jong-un is a far cry from this manufactured image. When the cameras stop rolling, he retreats to a world of opulence that would make even the most extravagant billionaires blush. His wardrobe alone is worth more than what most North Koreans will earn in several lifetimes. Take, for example, Kim's watch collection. While many of his subjects struggle to afford basic necessities, Kim sports timepieces worth millions. In one recent public appearance, he was seen wearing an IWC Schaffhausen watch valued at a staggering $112,000. That's just one watch in a collection estimated to be worth over $8 million. Kim's fashion choices go beyond just watches. He's often seen in tailored suits that cost thousands of dollars each. These aren't off-the-rack outfits. They're custom-made to fit his portly frame, likely by some of the world's top designers. The contrast between Kim's designer wardrobe and the worn, patched clothing of average North Koreans is stark and unsettling. But Kim's excesses don't stop at his wardrobe. His car collection is the stuff of legend and nightmares for human rights activists. While most North Koreans rely on bicycles or overcrowded public transport, Kim cruises around in a fleet of luxury vehicles worth an estimated $100 million. His garage includes multiple Mercedes-Benz S600 Pullman Guard limousines, each costing around $1 million. These aren't just fancy cars, they're mobile fortresses, capable of withstanding explosions and gunfire. Kim also owns several Rolls-Royce Phantoms, the epitome of automotive luxury. Each of these cars costs more than most North Koreans will see in their entire lives. But perhaps the most shocking symbol of Kim's excess is his $7 million yacht. This isn't some modest fishing boat, it's a Princess 95 Milmi, a floating palace complete with luxury cabins, a full bar, and even a jacuzzi, while millions of North Koreans struggle to put food on the table. Meanwhile, Kim lounges on the deck of his multi-million-dollar pleasure craft, sipping expensive champagne and enjoying the sea breeze. The yacht isn't just for show, either. Kim uses it for both state visits and leisure trips, often accompanied by his inner circle and his infamous pleasure squad. Imagine the cognitive dissonance required to enjoy such luxury while ruling over one of the world's poorest countries. As if the yacht wasn't enough, Kim also owns a collection of jet skis for his seaside adventures. These high-powered water toys, each likely costing tens of thousands of dollars, are yet another reminder of the vast gulf between Kim's lifestyle and that of his subjects. The total value of Kim's luxury possessions is truly mind-boggling. While exact figures are hard to come by, Kim isn't exactly filing tax returns. Experts estimate that his collection of watches, cars, yachts, and other luxury items is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. That's more than the entire GDP of some small nations. What makes this wealth even more shocking is the context in which it exists. As night falls on Pyongyang, the contrast between Kim's world and that of his subjects becomes even more pronounced. While ordinary North Koreans retreat to sparse homes with unreliable electricity, Kim indulges in alcohol-fueled parties with his inner circle. These gatherings often feature his infamous pleasure squad, a group of up to 2,000 young women selected for their beauty and loyalty to the regime. The excess of these parties is staggering. Kim reportedly spends around $30 million each year on alcohol alone for these elite gatherings. That's more than many countries allocate for their entire healthcare systems. Meanwhile, countless North Korean children go to bed hungry each night, their growth stunted by chronic malnutrition. This disparity between Kim's lifestyle and the suffering of his people goes beyond mere inequality. It's a moral abomination. While Kim obsesses over luxury goods and gourmet meals, an estimated 24% of North Korea's annual budget is funneled into maintaining his power and military might. This leaves precious little for essential services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. I don't know, what do you think about how these leaders live? Let me know in the comments.